Welcome to the Palace of Megapixels. This is Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo!
Hello everyone and welcome to Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo. I'm your host Stephen White and with me is my co-host Lacey Finley.
Oh, happy Monday everybody.
Happy Monday. And we have two special guests joining us today in the Palace of Megapixels. You guys may know that we have had this affinity for FMV games like the Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker and the Shape-Shifting Detective, and we're going to dig in a little deeper today because we are speaking with the writers and director of those games. Please welcome Tim and Lynda Cowles.
Hey.
Hello.
Thank you for coming.
How are you guys this morning or this afternoon?
Yes, or this afternoon for you.
We are good.
Yeah.
I've got a little bit of road rage after playing Rocket League, but it's good.
It's always
Oh,
coming
yeah.
back.
I've never played Rocket League. I've heard a lot of good things, but I've never taken the attempt to try it. So maybe I'm going to have to get on that. But again, the road rage, I might have to worry about that.
If you have low blood pressure, it's a good game to play, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good. All right. That's always
Sure.
fun. I like a road rage in real life. I don't know if I need it in my gaming life too, but
Yeah,
you know.
no kidding.
Good range.
Rocket rage, we call it, yeah.
A rocket rage? Nice.
Yeah.
So, one of the things we like to ask our guests when they come on the show, first of all, is what have you been playing, guys? You said you've been playing Rocket League. Is there any other games that you've been playing?
Yeah. Linda's been playing.
What have I been playing? Well, I've just been playing Minecraft because our daughter plays a lot of Minecraft. So
Nice.
Nice.
spends a lot of hours on that. Forza Horizon 4, really enjoying at the moment.
Nice.
We spent a lot of time on 3, didn't we?
Yeah.
But 4's, it's all Britishy, so you get to drive across fields and
On the correct side of the road for you, then, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
so on the side of the road, which helps a lot because I am very good at staying on the side of the road that I'm supposed to be on. Not at all. It's just a lot of fun, Forza. It's this big playground and you can do anything you want in it, can't you?
We played Divinity Original Sin. Been
Yeah.
playing that.
Oh,
Nice.
solid.
Demon 9 we played, or Damon 9.
I just started that. I haven't gotten too far into it, but I just started that a couple days ago. I'm hoping to finish that here very soon. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It's
good use of external videos and websites, that game.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like. I got to the, I guess whatever the introduction to it was and what's actually going to be going on, and to the point where, so it's kind of like the missing person. I don't know if you remember, I'm trying to remember that last one that I played, but it took a lot of going to websites. You're on your fake computer to like look through their things.
Was that Simulacra? Was it called Simulacra? Did you play that
No,
one?
not that one. I have played all 3 of those now to date. But it was an Asian, out of an Asian country, because it was more fun for me because of like how much more big they react to everything and all that kind of stuff. So I had such a fun time with that. And apparently the developer had come in too, and like, 'cause I was getting stuck. I was getting hardcore stuck because I did not know what they wanted me to look up or how it was going, and chat was going down. We were just like, we couldn't figure it out. And finally told me you had to like piece together all these different videos that you were getting. It was a lot of fun for a one-time through, because it's just, they have such a bigger than life personality when they film stuff, and it's so much fun. It's so much fun.
Now you've said that, it's reminded me that I have to tell you this fun fact.
Oh, yes.
We have sold more copies, most copies, to China of the Shape-Shifting Detective. So
No kidding.
yeah, it probably works both ways.
Interesting. It's a big gaming community there, right? It's a big gaming community there.
big in China.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Lace, what have you been playing? Outside of the
well-
game you were just mentioning.
Yeah, I was going to say the third Simulacra, Pipe Dreams, was the one that I just finished, which is, it's a lot of fun. It's one of those that has, like, several different, well, the endings aren't totally different, but, like, you'll get a different achievement or whatever, whether you survived or both of you survived, or, you threw him under the bus or whatever it was, for your friend that you're trying to save. He's got completely addicted to this game, Flappy Bird. But it's Flappy Bird, like a play on the word of Flappy Bird that everyone was addicted to however long ago it was. and you go to the EYEGEEN website to like learn about this game, and it's a total spoof on the whole thing. But what's different and interesting about the simulacra games is they give you tons of hidden messages and Easter eggs. And you have to really be willing to delve in and find them all. There'll be some numbers that'll flash so quick across the screen that you might have to like pause that video to try to go back and forth and get it and pump it into their websites that they have, or go on Jabber, which is their version of Twitter, and find these different videos and different Easter eggs. I mean, it's a very interesting, well-done game as far as, like, if you really want to dive into these different little intricacies that they put in there. And the last one was free. This Pipe Dreams was free. The Simulacra, the second one, was only like $5, which I feel like, especially as in-depth as they go, that could have been more. And then the first one was free. I think it was Anna is Missing was the first one. And then so on through it. So that was the last FMV that I got through, and I actually got addicted and played it about 2 or 3 different times in a row because I wanted to find all those videos.
Gotta find the videos in FMV games.
It's crazy how many there was, and I had to like freeze frame a lot of it because I saw a bunch of them, and there's like 8-digit number or 10-digit number or something that I found that I don't know where it goes yet. So I'm still trying to figure it out without cheating too much, but I don't know where it goes yet, but I know the game well enough to know it's somewhere in that game. You have to pump it in or look it up, and it's going to give me something, and I just don't know what it is yet. So I'm still playing with that. And then Red Dead Redemption, which we've beat to death. You know, we've talked about it in every single podcast, so I've still been playing that too, so we won't go into any more detail. But I'm not garbage at it anymore, so I'm having fun.
That's good. You're getting better.
Well, what have you been playing?
Well, I finally beat Just Cause 3.
Oh, good for you.
Yes, I finally did it. And then I promptly deleted it because I'm done. I'm still messing around with Fallout Shelter. I played the Spider-Man DLC, the Turf Wars. That was pretty nice. I did kind of notice something yesterday. I was kind of fumbling around. I actually got one of those Amazon Fire TV sticks.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw that they had games on it, and I thought, well, let's see what they got. Because I assumed they would be simple, basic games that you could just play on your TV. They actually have full games, like Final Fantasy games and Sonic the Hedgehog games. I'm like, oh, wow, I can actually play real games here? So I started thumbing through to see if there was anything that would be worth my time. And I'm considering, because you have to have a controller for some of them, because they're full games.
Right.
And they had Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, which is a game I missed out on when it came out. And I thought to myself, I might actually buy a controller now because I've really wanted to play this game.
That's interesting.
So it's something that might happen down the road.
So does it plug into your PlayStation?
I think it's wireless. I think it's like a Bluetooth wireless controller, and then it just feeds off of the Fire Stick. That's what I'm assuming, because I didn't see any wires or connections like that. So I don't know. We'll see. I might be talking about Amazon Fire games soon.
Because I've only known it for like movies and stuff where it plugged into your TV.
Yeah.
That's why I was, that's interesting. You'll have to let me know how that works out.
I mean, I'm curious because it's a cheap controller. It's like $15. So it's not bad considering how much you pay for PlayStation and Xbox controllers. They're like $60. So I don't know. I might put the money down for it and see how it goes. But
and
I mean, there are a few.
You can get the PlayStation for like $200, the PS4.
That's true.
With Black Friday sales, probably through Monday. This might be relevant then.
Yeah.
In the future,
hopefully,
when you're
maybe.
Listening. Got to be cognizant of when they're listening.
Yeah. But no, I'll continue on with that some other time when I dig in a little deeper.
Okay,
so
nice.
Seems interesting so far, so we'll see. But let's talk about some news. We got a little bit of news this week. The first thing I have is that on November 2nd, Ubisoft enacted a worldwide censorship on their most recent Rainbow Six title. Now, the censorship included scenes depicting blood, sexual content, gambling, skulls, and other type of content it deemed problematic in other markets, hoping to create a global version of the game. However, criticisms and review bombs ensued, and now Ubisoft is saying, we're not going to do that. All right, we're taking it back. And they're restoring all game elements that were previously censored through the release of Operation Wind Bastion, which comes out next month.
Okay.
So, guys, have you ever had to deal with censorship with your FMV games?
Yes. Yeah, just, well...
A little bit.
Only a little bit. I mean, basically, some of the store pages, you need to have only acceptable elements, unless you want to put up the kind of age gate. So if you want people to be able to see the trailer, for example, so even for Shapeshift, yeah, the publisher asked us to cut a few bits out so that they put it on all the stores. But we do have the full version available, obviously, on our Twitter site for everybody to see. But for some of the stores, yeah, they had to cut a few bits out. And it's not always the bits you think that need to be cut. But it depends what country they're going to. So
I was just going to
that's
ask
the
that.
interesting thing. Yeah, we always think it's always... the guns and nudity, which it probably mostly is, actually.
Well, especially in the States, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know about elsewhere.
Yeah, well, I mean, we haven't found anything else like you can't have any kittens in it or anything. We don't know specifics for countries, but yeah.
I guess it depends on how voluptuous your kittens are. I don't know.
Those saucy kittens.
But yeah, I thought this was an interesting bit because, I mean, I think we're seeing reviews and especially the review bombs that they're doing and criticisms like that, where you're having these companies flip decisions, because this has been happening a little bit more recently
It's been a lot of fire
usual,
going on with
because
it, yeah.
anytime they come under fire, it's like, oh, we gotta change things and we gotta do it the way they want it. And if they were really sure about this, like they wanted to be worldwide so they weren't censored elsewhere, I think you'd stick to your guns here. But I think they're trying to appeal to everyone, and I think it's kind of backfiring on them. But that's my opinion on it.
We didn't want to cut the trailer just for...
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's got to be hard from a different standpoint, too, because, obviously you want it to reach as many people as possible, and every country has their own laws as to what's acceptable or what they're even going to sell, or... I mean, how do you even balance that to make sure that, it's what you wanted to put out into the world creatively, or... we still want the game to get out there and still make sales because this is what you want to do. It's got to be a tough line to toe.
We'd go with the first one. We'll take creative first, but obviously we have a publisher now, so there's a bit of a balance, like you say. So they've got their business head on. We've got our artist, our sad artist head going, no.
Well, no, yeah, the creative in you is just like, well, you just take the game, buy it or love it, you hate it or love it. Like, this is my baby, and then yeah.
Presumably,
I understand that.
they were just trying to make it easier for themselves as developers, having one
code base.
Yeah, one version with all the censored elements in. So by going back or caving to pressure from fans, they've just sort of kept it difficult for themselves, but kept the masses happy.
Well, presumably the review ratings have gone up. Is that right? Yeah. So that reviews are so important.
That's true.
In big media, that they're going to change the game so that the reviewers are happy, even if the players aren't, I guess. I mean, the assumption is that they're going to fall in line. I still think we kind of have happier players in general for our games than we do reviewers most of the time.
Yeah. And that's kind of what matters, I think. And especially in the day and age of Steam and all that kind of stuff, your players pretty much are your reviewers now.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not saying that there's no weight or clout with that still, but I just feel like half the time I find myself thumbing more through what people say on Steam. Whether I take that with a grain of salt or not, I feel like we've discussed this many a times. I'm not as hard to please as a lot of players and people are. I can appreciate a thing for what it is, even if somebody else calls it garbage. That I find myself flipping through those more than I go to legit websites for my reviews or anything like that.
Well, I think a lot of these publishers and developers, even from film side, for that matter, I think they're becoming slaves to Metacritic and things like that. Their scores have to be a certain, percentage, or otherwise it's just a failure. And I really don't think they should put a lot of focus on that, because your fans and your audience are going to be out there, regardless of who's saying it. You may have more people who love it who don't review it than you do the people who are reviewing it,
Well, I find those that are happiest are the quietest.
Yeah, for sure. because they don't want to dog it down. They don't want to sit there and say, well, I don't like this element to it. Even if there's a game I really love, if there's a problem with it, I'll overlook it. I'll be like, it's fine. I'll deal with it. I still love everything else about it. But I'm not going to go and tell the developer, hey, you screwed this up. I need this fixed. It's unimportant,
Flip my tables. Never buying from you again,
Is there such a thing as a perfect game anywhere? I mean, there's a lot of games that get 10 out of 10, but is there such a thing that has everything
Everyone's
perfect?
different. Everyone's different.
Yeah,
Everyone's
very
different.
subjective.
Yeah.
Like, I keep hearing all the 10 for 10 for Red Dead Redemption, yet I hear the same complaint, the controls are garbage. So, how is it perfect?
I think in that way, we're just allowing ourselves to get so fully immersed into the world that we're like, again, we're willing to overlook that one thing. Although, I don't think the controls are garbage. I blame myself.
How many horses have you lost?
I still have my same horse, which my husband still makes fun of me for, because he's like, why do you still have the tiny horse? And I'm like, but Falcor's been good to me. Why do I get rid of it,
My friend.
I get on my horse and everybody else is sitting all the way up here. I'm like, what's up, guys? I feel like a big bad cowboy. But I've killed a few by accident and lost honor. But they're a bigger target than the people sometimes.
So the smaller the horse, the bigger the cowboy. Is that the same?
Yes!
Yeah.
See? I like it. I'm going to use that.
All right. Next story I've got is, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but last week Tumblr was officially removed from the iOS App Store. Apple was citing a zero-tolerance policy on sexual exploitation of children and abuse. In an issued statement, it was mentioned that the app was being monitored routinely when such content was discovered, enforcing an immediate shutdown of the platform. Now, Apple continued by saying they're actively working to get the app restored, but enforcing these safeguards is their highest priority. Yeah. I was unaware that this thing even existed on Tumblr, but after researching this, I found out, oh, yes, it does. And I was like, well, that's wonderful. But I'm glad someone is putting their foot down and saying, no, we're not supporting this.
So,
right.
So they knew it was out there.
Yeah. Well, they stumbled upon it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
So I guess once they figured it out, then they were like, done.
Yeah.
Shut this down. So good on them. Good on them,
I think more companies need to do that too, and start enforcing their laws and their rules and stopping this, because it's ridiculous. It's something that doesn't need to happen. It makes it, you can see the frustration just washing over me. I don't like hearing about that.
No.
I don't see how it's difficult to see how it can happen. Like, presumably a Tumblr not monitoring every type of social network or anything. You can post anything on Twitter, can't you? I mean, I guess you can post anything, and it's going to take a few minutes for the public to start going, no.
Right.
Get rid of this. But so I guess in particular, Apple just, it sounds like Tumblr might have a specific problem then, and that is...
Oh, yeah, for sure. A bigger problem than I realized. So I think they need to start looking into it. I think Apple's forced hand here needs to let the company start saying, what are we actually allowing here?
Right.
And then start doing something about it. Because if they don't, I feel like they're just adding to the problem. You're condoning it, pretty much.
It's not really to do with religion or politics, is it? It's
no,
it's
absolutely
criminal,
not.
Basically.
Oh, yeah.
Those needs to be shut
It's always
down.
a shame, though, like the bigger one that has to be the one to put the kibosh on it, though, as they say, without finding it out on your own or being willing to take it yourself. Of course, I mean, I'm just speculating, too. I don't know how the chain of events happened, but...
Tumblr's been around for a long, long time. I mean, I can remember Tumblr, and I'm too old, so I mean, it's been around for quite a while. It has been around for a while.
I rarely used the platform ever. I think a couple of times I posted a picture on there for some walkthroughs on YouTube for a game or something, because I couldn't quite articulate what people were wanting, and so I was like, well, here. And so I took a screenshot, posted on there, and put the link, and I think that's my most I've ever used it. I don't think I've thumbed through it for anything.
But I don't know if the user base is expanding or whether it's declining, because again, presumably these places, they don't then have the resources if they don't generate the income to police, and all. It must get worse and worse. Like bigger places like Facebook and things, we're all thinking they need staff. They should have staff now who are checking stuff. Not just for that, but for everything. And places like Tumblr, presumably. I don't know. Sorry, Tumblr. I'm sure you're in the ascendancy, and I have no idea. You're probably
Yeah.
like got an extra million people just now when I said that. So I
Right.
don't know.
Yeah. Everyone's now that hadn't heard of it. What is Tumblr?
What is that?
It's a new social network.
It's so new.
All right. The next story I've got, this is an interesting bit. This is something we actually mentioned a few weeks ago. There was an impending lawsuit from the Witcher creator, whose name I'm gonna botch here, Andreas Sapkowski.
Yeah, it sounds better than the last one.
Yeah, probably.
We might be getting closer.
A little bit. His lawsuit against CD Projekt Red in hopes of altering their original royalties agreement, looking to get an additional $16 million in back payment. Now, if you are unaware of this story, he originally settled for a lump sum payment as opposed to a 6% percentage overall of profits, which is a decision he openly regretted because now it's become popular and it's making all the money. CD Projekt Red actually said that they shut this down. They're not going to pay attention to this anymore. They're not going to, acknowledge it.
So it's been
They
settled.
said that they agreed to an amicable agreement in the past, and he's not agreed to that. So they're shutting it down. It's not going to happen. You're saying no. They're putting their foot down. So, but they said that this is not going to be the end of the story as of yet because they're still kind of processing it. They're still trying to be amicable about the whole thing. But we'll kind of bring it up more as we get more information. But as I said before, I'm sticking by this. He doesn't have a leg to stand on.
Yeah.
He agreed to that legally.
Business be business.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, presumably they might not have gone ahead with the project at all had he not agreed to the fixed sum.
Right.
They've got it in their budget what they're going to spend on it, or before they can make something happen. So perhaps it would never have gone ahead or maybe it'd have gone ahead quicker and better. But you just don't know. As in, if somebody's going to accept a percentage instead of upfront money, they could have put that into the project, and maybe it could have got more money. They could have had more sales. And it's if it's on a bit of paper and it's legal, then we all agreed.
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel like greed is always the thing that brings most of these things down. I mean, it just...
You can see he's trying to maybe get their goodwill to make a payment, and maybe that is due. But they're not. They can't be obliged to do it, can they?
No, absolutely not. And legally, in paper, they've fulfilled their end of it. And he had that opportunity. They gave him two options, percentage or lump. And he said, it's easier just to take the lump money and I'll run. And at the time, obviously, it's when The Witcher was being made, the very first one. I'm sure he didn't look at it and say, this is going to be groundbreaking. This is going to be the greatest game ever. And it's going to just take off.
Blown up
but
the way
then they
that it
continue
has,
making games. You get The Witcher 3 and then it becomes the powerhouse that it is. And I could see where you'd be like, man, why did I do that?
I always feel like I hear more stories of it that way, like the long run of the percentage. Maybe, wasn't it with some of the Star Wars actors even that was like, yeah, you know what, I'll just take a percentage. And it's like, making it rain, like you would have never been able to know, but he was just like, yeah, we'll just do it this way, and it's just I feel like maybe from here on out, especially with the way the market's going, just take the gamble on the percentage and see what happens.
Yeah, you never know.
I mean, don't listen to me, I'm not a legal mind or anything like that, but I feel like I've heard more success stories that way.
I still feel like George Lucas was the smartest man when it came to making a deal, because that deal he made, I get all the money for the merchandising. They're like, merchandising? Pfft, sure. Yeah. And then he's like, I'm banking now.
Yeah.
Again, he had no idea, did he, to begin with? He thought, oh, 3 sales and I'm done. But
right. Could have been 2 hats and a T-shirt and called it a day, Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one expected that, and he made his living off of it. Still today, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure.
We'd rather pay people up front. We'd rather pay people a fixed fee than a percentage. And that isn't to do with knowing what we're going to make in the future. But when you work with a lot of people and you offer the same percentages to everybody, some people do more than others. And then even post-project, they will do more and they'll promote it more and all that. And you kind of think, I wish we could have given more to one person than the other, and it's a bit of a minefield again. But I think if you get offered percentage, then take it.
Yeah.
Right?
It can be quite difficult to be.
Well, I didn't even think about that perspective that he just brought up too, with all of the stuff afterwards and everything like that. That's a good point. It's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whether they'll turn up and do anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not thinking about my actors. Obviously, they're all lovely. So were all the Star Wars actors, but as in they still promoted it afterwards, didn't they? I do remember though what you were saying, the Carrie Fisher saying about this isn't mine, my face, it's not mine. That's every time look in the mirror, I've got to pay George, and it's like things like
right. And we still use it, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, they're CGIing it on people now, and her face is a product.
Isn't
as sad as that is.
That's weird, isn't it? How they're bringing back old films and adverts.
It's very scary though, as like an actor or something like that. I'm like, so you don't actually need me at all anymore? Like I don't have to. Okay, like
I think there's been that fear.
There's something about Jet Li and because they wanted to digitize all the like fancy moves. I don't know the lingo.
No, I like the fancy moves.
But then they'd be able to just use that in any movie with a CGI person, and they were moves that had obviously taken years to perfect. So
it's just you
Jet Li said no.
But they're acting. They're putting actors from films in adverts, and presumably there's no chance the actors said, "I really want to do that commercial in 30 years' time when I'm dead." There's not at all. So whoever owns the rights to the films or whatever is allowing, they're relicensing them out to advertise and stuff. It's a bit weird, isn't it?
It is weird.
I know you signed it over, but it's a bit weird.
I think the very first instance of this I ever remember, that I can honestly remember, I think it was back in the 90s. There was a Tales from the Crypt episode. I think it was directed by Robert Zemeckis. I think it had John Lithgow and Isabel Rossellini, I think. Okay. And they brought back Humphrey Bogart. Like a guy had a facelift and had Bogey's face on it. And the guy was doing his best impression. And they credited him as Humphrey Bogart. So he has a posthumous credit years after his death on Tales from the Crypt.
On Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah. And it was astonishing to see at that time. You're like, wow, they actually kind of brought him back, and then of course now today it's dated pretty much, but it was still interesting. It was still interesting that they did that, but yeah, it's very much this very thing. You can do that. It's been done.
It's amazing technology, but it just feels...
Well,
it does feel weird.
I don't know. Stuff, that's okay. But when you see weird, like they're advertising some weird, some weird product that I won't mention, and you go, well, did they ask the family even? I don't know.
Right. Yeah, because I think that we've seen those cases too where it's come back to that. But oh man, come on, no, we still need the actors. Don't write us out.
Yeah, I mean, it still looks. I mean, as good as it's getting, it still has that iffy quality to it. So you need your actors. You need that. I think.
I guess at least once, right? We're finding.
Yeah, at least once.
At least once.
Yes, from all angles, and then you're done.
Right. All right. The last story I've got here is the PUBG Corp is getting ready to smack down cheaters by enacting an anti-cheat measurement that will effectively ban a cheater's hardware, making it impossible for them to create new accounts on the same device. This feature is actually right around the corner, according to the company, and it's one of the more aggressive measures being taken for repeat offenders. So, essentially, if you cheated on an account, you got banned, and then you tried to make a new account, same hardware, whatnot, they're going to target in on your hardware and stop you from cheating continuously on one device. So, I think that's actually a pretty clever...
And this will work on PC, too? Not just consoles?
Every device. Nope, every device.
They need to share
so
that
I'm
secret.
sure they can. I think
like if it works, like
if it works, I think it's actually what they're going to be needing to do, because you've got that, and was it Fortnite? They did their nonsensical cheating lawsuit.
Yeah,
recently.
there was one. I feel like PUBG was the most that I've seen in the recent for like the massive ones where like huge amounts of people were just getting banned or shut down or anything. I don't know why that one in particular, but. yeah.
Yeah, it's not even as popular anymore.
Not now, no, yeah, but well, it's coming to PS4 though. It'll make a resurgence.
Yeah, woo, about 2 years too late.
Well, have to do something. There's still diehard fans for it, man. You know.
It's on Xbox Game Pass, I think. Is it just
is it on the Game
Xbox
Pass?
Game Pass? Yeah.
I think they just announced it's coming to PS4 soon.
December 7th.
Okay.
That's weird. Is that an actual hardware lock, or is that some kind of cookie on the system that it's putting somewhere else? Because did you know that they can lock things like PlayStation so it can't get on the PSN anymore? You have consoles that are banned. Yeah. It's kind of weird, isn't it? Because then they sell them on eBay or whatever, and somebody's going, "Oh, I got my new PlayStation." What?
Oh, I didn't see. I don't have a criminal mind. I didn't even think of that. You know,
their PUBG. They want to play PUBG, and they've just bought their second-hand PC off of eBay.
Now we've just scared everyone. Always buy brand new. Always buy brand new.
That was a public service announcement. That was great.
There you go, guys. Do not trust eBay. They're all evil. Right. No.
Research.
Right. But no, I hope that works, though. I really do. Because, garbage cheaters. It really...
Yeah. All right, let's talk about some Quickets. Guys, Quickets is just headline readers. We're just reading headlines and kind of giving our opinions on them.
He's in my heart.
Yeah. First of all, I thought this was a very interesting headline. Going back to Ubisoft. Ubisoft actually blames players for loot boxes.
Okay, sure.
Said that because they buy them, that's why they're there. So,
well, to be fair, I guess that's true. People keep buying them. They're going to keep doing them.
I mean, it's a bold statement. I don't think it's something you should have just said. But
it's not like we went, you know what we want? More ways to spend our money in your game. And they went, well, we've got the answer.
Loot boxes.
Maybe someone did. I don't know.
Blame seems like the wrong word, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Blame's definitely the wrong word.
Blame seems like
blame your players.
Good thing to come out with.
What else can players vote for in the Ubisoft boardroom? I'm wondering.
Right. So, I mean, good on them for being honest, I guess.
Someone got paid for that idea anyway. So.
The remake of Resident Evil 2 reportedly took over 800 devs.
Oh, wow.
That's massive.
I'm curious as to why it would take that many.
It does.
I'm all in.
I mean, I'm anxious to play it. So, you guys into Resident Evil?
Did they all work for one day?
You know what? That's a good question.
True. Where was all the hours spread?
I used to call those IBM man days back at 10 years ago. You get 100 people working for one day. That's 100 man days of development. Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it wasn't particularly great because you got 100 people that are working for one day. Yeah, 800.
But it looks impressive.
See, yeah, now I'm starting to question that headline. It could be all sneaky.
See, we're getting the inside scoops, guys. Here we go.
There was a big drop off the week after. There's like 3 people after. But yeah.
the group picture of in there that's getting used over and over again, the stock photo. Oh, great.
I don't know if you guys have played Spider-Man, but there's a character in there that Peter creates when he's talking to his detective friend Yuri, and he calls himself Spider Cop. Spider Cop is on the case. And she's like, oh, God, please don't do this Spider Cop thing. And he's like, Spider Cop. Well, Spider Cop is now canon because of a recent issue released in Marvel Comics called Spider-Geddon. You look on a screen in the background of all the Spider-Men in the known universes, and there's Spider Cop with his hat and his mustache on the outside of the suit. And you see the PlayStation 4 Spider-Man, and they're like, there's a Spider Cop? And he goes, Spider Cop actually exists? This just melts my heart.
Aww.
So, Spider Cop is real.
Look this up now.
We haven't played it, have we? We've seen some playthroughs of it, but we haven't played it. We heard that swinging around the Metropolis is good.
Oh, it's so cathartic, just swinging. I did it once. I think I was just looking for, they had these secret photo ops, and you have to swing around the city and find these little hidden spots you take a picture of, and it'll unlock a costume. And they don't show up on your regular map, but you can get a bonus power that'll show up on your mini-map, so you really have to hunt them down. And I know I spent a good solid hour just swinging around looking for them, but it wasn't... I wasn't sitting there thinking, man, this is boring. I was just enjoying the peace and tranquility of just swinging around looking for it. It's so amazing.
Hey, it's your game.
Really
Play
is.
it how you wanna. That's what you want to do.
Hello Games revealed the newest No Man's Sky update called Visions.
Okay.
So I'm not.
Pretty good.
We do play that. Yeah, we play
Yeah.
that.
You do? Yeah. I didn't play the last one. Was it the Abyss, where it was the underwater exploration?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they completely redid. I mean, so did. And Minecraft recently did that too. A bit different, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they're finally getting the game where it needs to be, what it should have been from day one, and it's looking really good. I'll give them that. I mean, I jumped back into it recently, just on a whim. Thought I'll see what they've added, what they've done, and I got into it. I was just like, oh man, I'm really kind of digging what they're doing here. I actually got stuck on a planet because my ship, I had a glitch where I'd hopped out of a ship, hopped back into another one to try and get it fixed. But I logged out and assumed that my working ship was going to be there, and it was gone, and all I was stuck with was the junker and had no way to fix it. So I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. So
This is where I live now.
Yeah, I trekked a huge portion of that planet trying to find a resource, trying to find anything, because even if it was like a one of the ship, I don't know what you call them, where all the trading posts, that's it, where all the ships kind of flying, I was just like, if I could at least find that, maybe I can trade something or anything. And it took me forever to find one. I mean, literally, you see where it says it's going to take you a day to walk here. I was like, oh God, this is going to be terrible.
You can buy them as well, can't you? You can buy the ships, but you need a lot of money for that.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, that's how I got through it. Is I was I finally made it to a trading post, and I just started scrounging up everything I could, trying to find the cheapest ship I could find. I was like, I'll pay anything, just please.
Just get me off this island.
Give me the ship.
Or planet, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've done a load of work on it, considering all the upgrades are free. And I mean, I didn't follow the whole thing when it came out. I know that they promised a lot of stuff, but I read up on the developer, Sean. I'm going to say Murray. It's not, is it?
Murphy?
But,
No.
but he took a lot of heat, didn't he?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he was. We thought he was crucified there for the longest time, and has now made amends. It seems. So
yeah, you don't promise something like that and not deliver, because everyone
gamers,
was so
you
hyped.
know.
Oh yeah,
Not happy. You're gonna know.
Yeah. So I mean, he's actually stuck there and actually been delivering free updates to make it. Probably, hopefully that's going to be better than what they originally said it was going to be when it gets there. Yeah. I mean, they said new variety this time, so we did enough planets to get a bit bored last time. And also, before they released one of the base patches, I did what you did. I logged out, and when I came in, they said it's me excellent, all this new stuff. My base was half underground, and I couldn't ever get in anymore. So it's just totally broken. I was like, I'm not playing this anymore. So we have restarted.
Just stand there, have a little mini funeral for your home. Like, well, it's already in ground, so.
I guess I should have bumped this up next to the other Spider-Man news. I don't know what I was thinking. But anyway, Insomniac took a few more shots at the Pedalgate nonsense by adding text in Spider-Man's in-game social media feed, where you see the residents of New York saying, hey, are we going through a drought? Wasn't there some water around or something like that? So I love that they're doing that because that was nonsense. I mean, it was just a puddle. It was a puddle. What does it matter?
But it's brought us so much joy since.
People got so mad over a puddle.
I know.
I'm going to go ahead and mention, since it was brought up, the Super Seducer 3 has been announced.
So it has been announced.
Yeah.
Man
so
alive.
how about that?
How about that?
Wonderful stuff.
I have no words.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was like, I thought it was a joke. I don't know. I'm not going to bash the guy, whatever.
He must be making money.
I just hope everybody is realizing tongue-in-cheek, and please don't actually go out in the streets and do this. We're not in a climate that can handle it well. Please.
I think he is leaning into the everyone's playing it for the lols.
Okay, good.
it does seem that he's put in more. I mean, I don't know because I haven't played it.
Yeah,
I've seen, things I've read about it. That he leaned in when Super Seducer came out and everyone was making the worst decisions possible and really having fun with that. Then that's what he's sort of gone for. So I think it's perhaps takes itself a bit less seriously.
Okay.
Than it did start out with.
Well, P Stabs played the second one, so I'll have to ask her how the second one went because I was like,
Lace.
Yeah.
Did you play the first one? Or
I played the first one. I did. It was an FMV, and I'm usually willing to always give those a go, regardless.
Right.
And,
now, were some of the decent responses were they okay, or were they still kind of cringing?
Some of them, yes. So I had to play off stream to figure that out, to be fair, because obviously chat's like, oh, please choose this one, where and you're like, oh my god, and the worst possible things happen. But some of them were okay.
Right.
Some of them were okay. There was one scene where it was you're the what do they call that, the wing guy or whatever. So you're out with your buddy and you're trying to help your buddy talk to the ladies or whatever. And so a couple of those weren't disgusting, where I was like, okay, I would find that kind of endearing if two gentlemen came over to me and had this little witty banter back and forth or whatever. I would see through it, of course, right away, but I'd be like, okay, that wasn't so bad. I don't find you slimy and skeezy and horrible,
I guess that's good.
Yeah, but I don't know. Of course I'm different too. I don't pick up dudes in the bar, so just some of the ones that was on the street that would just freak me out, and especially, like I said, in this day and age, if you're just if I'm walking on one side of the street and you're beelining it across the street toward me, I'm instantly going to go on my defenses because I'd be like, why are you were all by yourself over there, so it's those things, maybe just think of your approach and where you're at. Maybe if we're just trying to get to and from the subway to get to and from work, leave them alone.
That sounds like
if you're at a bar or a restaurant or maybe even shopping or something, fine. I don't know.
He did say that he was interested in making other FMVs, not dating ones.
Okay.
So genres.
We'll see. I'm good for at least giving it once through. We'll see.
And you can't fault the production quality.
I've got to say, he looks like he's having a lot of fun.
Looks good.
That's my
Yeah.
top, pro about it, is that he does look like he's really enjoying himself.
Yeah, it is
regardless of
fun.
what everyone else thinks. So
His wife was in it too. I found out at the end credits. His wife is one of the women that was in, I think towards the end. I think she was in the last scenario on that, because if you did enough of the game correctly according to the game, they would unlock little snippets at the end for you to learn about did you know this about the game or whatever. And that was one of the things that was in there, that she was I think the last woman in the scenario that you try to seduce, which I found interesting. So I was like, well, then she, I guess, is okay with it in some form. So
it makes you wonder what moves he used on her.
Right? Kinda. I was like, all right, let's see. Maybe that scenario was a introduction to how we met. I don't know. For them to know and us to wonder.
What else we got? The Pokemon Let's Go games have fallen short of sales predictions as they thought they were going to be, and they're not meeting the expectations of the other games. So I was a little surprised to hear that, because I thought they were doing all right.
I hear all the buzz about it. Interesting.
But on the flip side, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate pre-orders are breaking sales records. So everybody's anxious to play that.
Well, and isn't it on the Black Friday sales right now, bundled with the Switch for $300?
Probably.
Or $299 or something. You can get the Super Smash Brothers bundle, so it's actually coming with a game.
Yeah. So
now, granted, you're always in a Switch for more than that because you're going to get accessories, but you can get the console-based stuff in the game with it for $299.
Yeah. So I have no doubt that's going to be a huge hit once it drops. So I can't wait to see it, play it, all that stuff.
Yeah.
You can get Let's Go Pikachu and stuff like that with consoles as well. I mean, at least over on Amazon over here. So So, but have you seen the gameplay itself? Because I looked at the trailer.
I haven't yet, and I know a ton of people who have streamed it, and they always do it when I'm at work. I've never been a huge Pokemon fan, so I don't seek it out, but not for any other reason than I've just not played them. I think it was past my generation.
Yeah, it does. it's like a remake of the original games, from what I'm hearing, just updated graphically and whatnot, and then has, I think they said, even simplified controls to catch the Pokemon, so it's more like Pokemon
and they
Go
even
in a way.
sold like a little Pokeball that you can do now with the game too if you have it on the Switch. Yeah.
So people that had something similar for free on mobile for quite a while. I know it's more sophisticated than that, but perhaps that makes people a little bit less interested to buy the
maybe because mobile gaming's really not that bad anymore, man. There's like something that I'm pretty stunned at the graphics and how it plays out on the mobile. So
yeah, but Pokemon Go was huge, wasn't it? On mobile?
Yeah, it was. Oh my gosh! At least for a couple of months, especially.
Yeah, and it's more to do with people who haven't got the money to buy all these AAA titles coming out at once, so they're just picking their favourites, I guess. So
yeah, it's a tough time of year.
Is it?
Yeah, this time of year.
I've heard.
Yeah, apparently.
But yeah, while we're on the subject of Super Smash Brothers, one of the devs for the game stated that Kirby's survival in the World of Light trailer was on purpose. Now, if you've seen the World of Light trailer where you see all the characters pretty much coming together on a cliff and you see the big enemy starts attacking them, and if you've seen Avengers Infinity War, they pretty much get Thanos and they all just start disappearing, and then Kirby's the one that survives. He, makes his way through all the light streaks and makes it to wherever they said this was done on purpose. You'll have to actually play through the game and the story to find out why. So that kind of intrigued me. I'm kind of curious. You have a full story and a reason for this. So I'm excited.
That's nice.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. This I know is going to excite everybody if you remember this. The live-action Double Dragon movie is going to hit Blu-ray on January 22nd.
See, where's Todd? See, Todd, your favorite thing ever is happening right now on Blu-ray even.
Have any of you seen this movie?
I have not, but it's going to be 4K glory, is it?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
it's...
we'll see, I guess. I mean, it's going to be on Blu-ray, so...
Yeah, I don't really know what good I can say about it. It's one of those movies that was made in that time, like right after Super Mario Brothers, so they're trying to create a movie based on a game, and they just take all the liberties you want and do whatever. And oh man, they took some liberties, all right.
Oh, video games.
I'll leave it at that. It's a hard watch.
It could be a whole topic another day.
Yeah. And finally, an official still for Monster Hunter was released, showing actor Tony Jaa, I hope I'm saying his name right, as the hunter, complete with a jaw blade. I thought the jaw blade looked cool. The hunter gear looked cool. I'm still not sold on this movie.
No.
Have you guys heard about this movie and what they're doing?
The Monster Hunter World movie with Mila Jovovich.
Yeah. You're familiar with the Monster Hunter franchise?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're making a movie on it, and the very first stills that they have shown of this movie showed army and guns and things that are not Monster Hunters. Like, what are you doing? You come to find out that the synopsis is military forces find a portal to the Monster Hunter world, and then we're going to go there and help them fight their monsters. And I'm sitting there thinking, there's a narrative in the Monster Hunter universe that we could follow.
Like we could have just been there.
Just started there.
Yeah.
Just start there.
Who's directing? Is it Uwe Boll?
Paul W.S. Anderson, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And of course, with that, you get Mila Jovovich. That's
because he did all the Resident Evil movies.
This is Resident Evil what again?
Resident Evil.
Yeah, exactly.
Zero.
That's always been our gripe. Like, why couldn't it just been in the Monster Hunter world? Like, that's totally okay.
Yeah, you could argue budgetary concerns and whatnot, but you could still do it. I guarantee you could still do it. You just keep it simple.
They're gonna have to have monsters one way or another. So
yeah, exactly.
There's plenty of lore there. Anyway, we've griped about it to death. I know.
Yeah, we'll beat this horse to death when the movie comes out.
We'll see.
I'd be more interested if the monsters came through the portal the other way.
Yeah.
Real world.
Maybe that's our sequel.
You know.
Pacific Rim.
Right?
London Bridge monsters or Eiffel Tower monsters.
You know what? I think she cracked it. That's what they're going to do. They don't have to create a Monster Hunter world. They're going to watch the monsters come into our world, and we're going to have to go there and fight them. You just cracked it. I guarantee you that's the narrative now.
That might be the sequel. I would not be surprised.
That's going to be the finale of the movie. Third act. I guarantee it.
Lord.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
Monster Hunter 7.
All right. Truth or trash time.
Truth or trash.
Guys, truth or trash is I'm going to give you 3 items. They are not confirmed in any way. They are rumors, and you have to tell me whether or not you think they are truth or trash. Okay? The very first one. Wreck-It Ralph is coming to Fortnite.
Oh, I'm going to say truth.
Yeah, I think true.
Sounds doable. Yeah.
After the whole Thanos thing, this doesn't sound like a stretch. Okay. Secondly, a sequel to Until Dawn is already in the works.
I hope that's true.
I was going to say, I thought I read something about that too. I know Supermassive Games was doing something else that's supposed to be released soon. I'm going to say truth. Yes. It's a great game. I would like to play a sequel. Or maybe I just want it to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound very far-fetched. That sounds like
No.
it would do.
But you got to listen to him. Sometimes he'll throw out a date or something that'll screw you up.
Just after? What was the game they released just after Until Dawn?
The Impatient.
The Impatient was one of them. And then they had the roller coaster shooter one.
Rush of Blood.
Rush of Blood.
The VR, yeah.
So they've been busy.
Yes.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So far, good stuff, though.
Finally, and this is a big one now, Microsoft is developing a streaming-only Xbox.
I've heard the rumors, but it's still rumors. So I feel like I'm being biased here. I'm going to say truth.
So does this mean they'll give up on any digital download revenue?
No?
Literally just streaming,
Yes.
It sounds like a Game Pass box, pretty much. So
there won't be any more physical discs.
No.
Yeah. I've heard that you could be able to pay a monthly fee to get your Xbox plus Game Pass plus Gold, and that gets you the hardware as well.
Yep.
Yeah. In terms of just a streaming box without a hard drive that you could store digital on, I don't think so. Because PlayStation Now did that first. PlayStation Now did streaming of games only, and then now about a month ago they've introduced you can download the game to your hard drive.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they're heading towards what Microsoft have been doing with the Games Pass. So, but I think Games Pass has worked really well, and we obviously understand how it works from the back of it as well, because Wales Interactive have got Late Shift on there. So they told which we clearly cannot tell you at all anything about. But in terms of the financial model, I think they're going to keep really doing well with Games Pass. We just picked up another 12 months actually for half price.
Nice.
All right.
So there you have it, people. You've heard it here first.
Yes.
That's still a yes for that last one. Then that was just me.
All right.
I was going to say trash because I said truth. Really nice to say.
Yeah, you got to mix it up.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, now it's time for some weird news. Weird news is just where we find some headlines that's just like, what? We can't understand what the game world is doing now.
Very hard for those, do you?
Yeah, no, sometimes it's very easy. They make it easy. First of all, someone did a mashup of Detective Pikachu and True Detective, putting Matthew McConaughey's voice on Pikachu and actually inserted Pikachu into scenes of True Detective.
I love it.
So you should look that up.
I'm
going to.
And give it a whirl. I'm sure it's on YouTube.
I want to see this.
Secondly, and this is one of those face palming, like, come on, people. And it's about our favorite new game here recently, Red Dead Redemption 2. Players of the game have started to petition to pet cats.
Are there cats?
Apparently so, and they want to pet them. Well, they're there. Players want to pet them, and they're going to start this petition.
I just want a petition to bring a dog back to camp. I feel like that should be before I pet a cat.
Well,
priorities.
Yeah,
right.
But no, The public has spoken. They want cats first.
Okay, I believe that though. Yes, I would want to pet the cats, but I have not seen a cat yet, so I feel cheated.
Yeah, if you're gonna pet cats, why not rabbits? Why not everything
or the
else
deer.
in the game? Yeah.
Deer. Yeah.
Rope them up and start petting them. Say, I wanted to pet you. Come to me.
But I mean, cats are contrary, so I feel like that was written in that way probably on purpose. Maybe they don't want you to pet
I would have
them.
no doubt.
Chase cat then pet.
There you go. Chase the cat.
Okay, and finally, and help me out here. The rating on the PlayStation Classic. You know how they have ratings down? They'll tell you why. It warns of, quote, phallic-shaped demons and Bubby's sticky love nest. Now, what game? What game is this?
Let's go.
I think we know.
I mean, what?
Oh, dear God. Oh, Internet.
I was just like, what? I know I read that list, and I have no idea.
Is that ESRB, is it?
Yeah.
ESRB.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's a thing that's happening.
Detail.
Yeah, that's
Great detail.
TMI.
Yeah.
For a rating. Yeah.
Okay.
Giving it away, haven't you? So.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to be surprised.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised by that, but
I love it.
All right. Now it's time for our favorite little game.
I'd buy that for $1.
For $1.
Guys, what this is I'm going to give you an item. I'm going to try to sell this item to you. I want to know if you want to buy this item, and then you're going to tell me how much you're willing to pay for this item before I tell you how much you're going to have to pay for this item. So hopefully there'll be a deal here, and you'll actually pay top dollar for it. So with Pokemon Let's Go, everyone's getting excited about being a Pokemon trainer again, right? Mm-hmm. And you're going to need a little pick-me-up to get you going in the morning and get out there and catch them all, right? So what if you could start your morning with a well-balanced breakfast headlined by waffles that look like Pokeballs? Introducing the Pokemon Pokeball Waffle Maker, an officially licensed product featuring non-stick cooking plates with duplicate design on either side. And if you feel like being creative, the design allows you to mix it up with some color batter, and you can color it and create your own colorful Pokeballs.
Does it actually make them round?
Yes, they're round.
Or is it just imprinting the Poke symbol into the waffles?
It looks like a Pokeball when you get your waffle.
Is there a Death Star expansion? Can I get anything else out?
I think you could, yeah. Now,
man.
You can design all these colorful waffles however you wish, and feed you or the Pokemon trainer in your home. How much would you pay for this wonderful waffle maker?
This is just asking for food fights. And is it officially Nintendo licensed?
It's officially licensed now. Whether or not it's Nintendo or the Pokemon Company, you take your pick. But I would assume that Nintendo's going to put their hand in it. Any money they can get off of that franchise, they're going to do it. Okay. So how much are you willing to pay for this wonderful item?
So how much do we think it's worth? Because I mean, in terms of kitchen appliances, no more. There's not enough room.
Right, like I feel you there. I do not need more stuff in my home.
This is the banana peeler. This is the orange scoop. Let's have the Pokemon ball maker. Yeah, there's no room.
I reckon that's got to be around a $50.
In dollars, oh my God. Okay.
Well, if you want to, I have actually converted it into pounds. So
yes. He was prepared.
Wow. I reckon it's like £30.
That's so nice of you.
$40 maybe if it's got a Pokemon thing on it.
Well, if it's officially licensed, okay. What I would pay for it, we've already discussed. No, I had nothing. I don't need a waffle maker, but I'm gonna say 60.
60.
If it's
all
officially
right. Well,
licensed.
you guys are getting a deal. Because, Lacey, you're only going to have to pay $34.99. And Tim and Linda, you're only going to have to pay $27.29.
So pretty close then.
That's
pretty close.
You were closer.
Yeah.
I just automatically assume when it's licensed, they're just going to jack it up because you're getting the name, you know?
So you're both getting Pokemon waffle makers.
Yeah. Gotta make them all.
Right. All right. I'm going to run through our release dates real quick. So, guys, if you have a moment you want to stretch or whatever, by all means. First up, on November 26th, we have Aquamoto Racing Utopia World Champion for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Darksiders 3 for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Crystal Crisis for Nintendo Switch. Floor Kids for PlayStation 4. This War of Mine, the complete edition for Nintendo Switch. That was a good game. I like that one. Isn't it that one that we played, Lace? Wasn't it survival in World War II Russia or something like that? Or Germany?
Oh, which one? What was the name? Sorry.
This War of Mine.
Oh, yes. I don't know that it's not multiplayer or anything, but like it's fantastic. I did play it though.
Yeah.
I actually got to play the DLC a little early, the newest one. It's a fantastic game. Fantastic.
Have you guys played it?
No.
So good. The graphics, it's just the way it's drawn and everything is just amazing. It's like a little side scroller-ish type of game. It's fantastic. Yeah.
But it's like a survival.
It is survival. Yeah, so it's like this war has happened, the shelling has happened, and you play 1 to 3 characters depending on if you do the story or not, and you have to go out at night, actually try to find stuff. You might be fighting other people, bring it back home, build your own stuff. It's really interesting. You just see how long you can make it into the war. Sometimes it's 30 days, 40 days to get that you could survive and get out, or you could just die. You know, it's really cool.
People get sick, you can get stabbed, shot, you have to heal yourself if you don't.
Depressed.
Yeah.
If they get uber depressed, they won't eat, they won't do anything. They're just meat suits there now to take up space. Like, it's just really, like, it's a very good game, though. I do enjoy it. Recommend it.
In Death for PS4. That word again. Spinteers. I hate that one. Spinteers Mud Runner, American Wilds Edition for Nintendo Switch, and 99 Vitas Definitive Edition for Nintendo Switch. Then on November 28th, we have R-Type Dimensions EX for Nintendo Switch and PC. Horizon Chase Turbo for Xbox One and Nintendo Switch. November 29th, we have Rival Mega Gun for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Asterix and Obelix Double XL 2. That sounds fun. For PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, plus a DLC mission, Lost Vagum for PC. Then Nari, words. Tower of Shirin for Nintendo Switch and PC. Stardust Galaxy Warrior Stellar Climax for Nintendo Switch. Gully Break for Nintendo Switch. In fact, the rest of these are for the Nintendo Switch, so we'll just do that. Okay. Roller Coaster Tycoon Adventures, Gensoko Defenders, Cattails, Abzu, which is a fun game, Screen Cheat Unplug, and Akaharaba. Feel the Rhythm Remixed for Nintendo Switch and PC. Then on November 30th, we have Ark Survival Evolved for Nintendo Switch, The First Tree Console Edition for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, Escape Dudeland for Nintendo Switch and PC, Piece of Our Delta for PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch, Coffee Crisis for Nintendo Switch. Lace, that sounds like your game.
Right up my alley.
Ride 3 for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Ononoka for Nintendo Switch. Game Tokogu, Cruisin' Mix Special for PlayStation 4 and PC. Harvest Life for Nintendo Switch. Then on December 1st, we have a delayed game, which was the Spyro Reignited Trilogy and Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. Didn't come out when we said before, but it has been moved to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One on December 1st. And then Rock Boshers DX for the Nintendo Switch. That is such a mouthful.
Not as many as before, though, so at least there's that.
I know. I just need to start recording these beforehand. It's massive. Okay, now it's time for our most favorite game of all.
What the hell did you just say?
Yeah,
so
we might want to only do like 1 or 2, though.
We've got a few. So how this works is there are tons of PC games that come out every week.
As you know.
Every day.
Over the place.
So we go through and find just a list of PC games, some with the most bizarre names, and just see if we can figure out what they are. So I'll pitch you a name, and then you tell me what you think that game might be. So, let's see. Lynda, I'll give you a starter.
Okay.
Let's see. Tell me what Pranky Cat is.
Pranky Cat. Well, I mean, it's in the title, isn't it? It's a cat and it does pranks. You are a cat and you can jump up onto shelves and you can knock things off the shelves, and you get more points if it lands on someone's head or knocks them out or causes a chaos, spills, and then people fall over.
I love it. I would play this.
It's a platformer. 3D platformer.
Yeah.
All right.
I would play it.
Yeah.
VR. Yeah,
In VR. Ooh, yeah, even
VR.
better.
You don't have a little cat paws, can't you? Actually knock them off.
Tim, what is chop is dish?
Chop is dish.
Yeah.
Chop is dish. Oh, that's definitely got to be some kind of cooking game, obviously.
Okay.
Maybe. Or maybe it's like a martial arts kind of super seducer, where if they're a dish, you chop them.
Oh, nice. I like this one. Let's pull it that thread. Yeah.
I dig that one. All right. Lace, Diaper Quest 2055.
Oh, good God. See, Todd, are you complaining now? Diaper Quest 2055. So we are in the future. And diapers are just really hard to come by. So you're actually following the life of this young woman who had just had her baby, and the whole quest is to try to find the real deal Huggies diapers that's been so elusive that used to be around the whole time. And so you get points if you find like the knockoff brands, sure. But we're really looking for those Huggies because she's just really tired of using the cloth with the little pins.
Mm-hmm.
And you only have like 4 worlds to go through in this apocalyptic diaper missing world.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they're not all good games.
No, of course not. They can all be gyms. Lynda?
Yeah.
Let's see. What do we want to give you? Okay. How mosquito became human.
How mosquito became human. Okay. Well, obviously the story's there. It's a narrative game.
Okay.
And I think it's probably in the style of What Became of Edith Finch. And you start off as a mosquito, and that's like one world and one style of gameplay, and you evolve over millennia and time to become a human, and they're all very different in style and gameplay.
And stars Jeff Goldblum.
And because it's like What Became of Edith Finch, you die at the end of each one as well. So it's really moving. Yeah, very moving.
Fair enough.
Oh, it could be whatever you want. There's no wrong answer.
It sounds like an expansion to that game Spore, that old game called Spore.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You have to evolve into it.
Tim, let's see here. What are we going to give you? Okay, this sounds fun. Hillbilly Apocalypse.
Ooh. That is a Black Friday simulator where
love it.
Where basically, you get a load of hillbillies coming into the shopping mall, and they're definitely going to get all the best stuff because it's Black Friday. And I mean, there's obviously going to be guns because why not? And you just have to, it's basically you as the shop staff versus the hillbillies trying to, cap them in the head before they get that last switch.
You've got to be left standing with one switch at the end of the wave, otherwise you fail.
It needs to be boss level. I don't know what the boss level is.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe a big Jeep comes in with, I don't know.
Oh, I still want to keep going on that. But...
thing, yeah.
Yep. Oh, the hate comments now if I kept going.
Oh,
myself.
yeah.
If I did it.
I don't know what a hillbilly is, just for clarification.
Oh,
well, I think you came close.
It's a guy called Billy who lives in the hills.
I feel like you nailed it on the head right there. I don't know. Yeah. We'll just
Lace. I saved the best one for you
good
here.
God. Okay.
Because
yes.
I want to hear this from you. Beating a dead horse with a one-trick pony.
Beating a dead horse with a one-trick pony. So does okay, you'll love me. So it's a Super Mega Crash Brothers podcast turbo simulator is what it is.
Okay.
And it's really just Todd and I who constantly keeps talking about Red Dead Redemption. And so as we are constantly talking about that and how amazing the graphics are with the horse balls, we get points on how many screen grabs we were able to get, on how close we were able to get up behind the horse before we got kicked. And if you were able to edit the video together in enough fashion to get a really nice time lapse from winter to summer.
Fantastic. Good job.
Thank you. Yeah.
Good job. Good job.
All right.
Nobody would buy it.
No.
Do you not do one, Stuart? No?
What's that?
Stephen doesn't get
I
to
thought
do
Stephen was going to do one.
Yeah.
No, he usually always gets, he always like.
I mean, Lace has to
the
pull one out.
luxury.
Oh.
On the live podcast version, I always throw him for a loop. Yeah. On this one, yeah. I should start just doing it to you one of these days for sure.
Well, it's fine. But since we're done with that, I think we're going to transition over. And guys, we're going to talk to you for a little bit. We're going to do a little bit of interviewing because we've appreciated you being here and hanging out with us the whole time.
Yes,
but
thank you
now
so
we
much.
want to get in deeper. We want to get to know you guys a little bit more. So I'm going to ask a question to start off with. It's just something I want to know. We've been looking into what you do, your website, your games, your short films, all this other stuff, and I noticed that there's a through line, a connective tissue to all of it, and that's murder. Why is that?
We are secretly serial killers.
It's very popular, murder mystery. No, well, that's just how the company started, really.
Mm-hmm.
We started about 14 years ago. There was a brand which is actually in the States called Murder Mystery Party. The trademark brand, the Murder Mystery Party games. It was licensed in England to somebody called John Mitchell at BV Leisure, and I really wanted to make films. I was a programmer. I was just working. I had my own company. We had a family business with loads of programmers in it, and I really wanted to start off a kind of film career. And there was this opportunity because you've got these Murder Mystery Party games, and they didn't have DVD films in or anything. They just had cassette tapes back then.
Wow, yeah.
And we just said, look, what if we put a film in instead of cassette tape? Can we start making these games for you? And he went, yeah. So that's how we were born. So we basically started. The company was literally making films and the stories for those Murder Mystery Party box games, and we just haven't thought of anything better to do since then, have we? Really, it's just.
Because you can murder so many people over and over again in many different ways, and have lots of different suspects. So it's totally reusable concept. So it's just endless.
We got to be bored. We are bored of murder mystery now for sure. But that leads us to things like Murder Mystery Flexi Party, which is like a as many players as you want version of a Murder Mystery Party game you run at home. And the good thing about that, we stuck it in the video games. So because we've been working for years about how do we have a random murderer,
right?
Been doing that for years, we can put it into the video games without it looking too gank. We've done some work on this instead of just going, I've got a great idea. So yeah, it's one of those things where you try and invent new stuff to keep yourself interested, really.
No, I loved it when I was reading through that. It's almost like live action role playing is exactly what it is. And like, oh man, you have no idea how bad I'm like so close to pulling the trigger on buying those guys. You have no idea. I really want to try it.
They're fully scripted. Yeah, they're fully scripted.
So you read out your part, and you just have to put on a silly accent or something, dress up, and you do your. It's very amateur dramatic.
It's made for
people. But still so much fun. You get some friends together with a few beers, and this is just going to be amazing.
That's absolutely what it is. We have to design them with alcohol in mind. I mean, not. But, yeah.
It has to be easy enough to play so that if you've had a couple of bottles of wine, you can finish the game.
It's not like
absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to play this now, like right now.
I know. I
have a few beers and go
like,
play.
I'm about to pull the trigger, man.
We only sent it over, didn't we, last year to Amazon.com. They actually sell the murder mystery games now. And it's doing really well. You guys are buying as many as we are over here.
Nice.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so it's
Good.
yeah.
Go
And it's funding the FMV games, which is what you really wanted to hear. So,
Oh, well, then I'm definitely at least buying a couple
that's
now because I
amazing.
want those to keep going forever.
Yeah, we make far more murder mystery. But it's brilliant.
Sure.
I don't know. I'm thinking a stream, man. We'll talk. We'll talk, Steven. We'll talk.
We'd love to see one. We would love to put boxes up and everybody's doing their thing.
Maybe I shouldn't have given away my idea.
No, I don't think we'd ever do it. Everybody would want us to pay them, you know? So,
Oh, there you go.
with real friends to do that.
We've got the loophole. So yeah, go ahead. You look like
you want me to
say
go?
something.
No, you go ahead. Ask away.
So, yeah, we were talking about that. So then, like, pulling on that thread, then, have you guys ever like written murder mystery dinner theaters or anything like that, or has anybody approached you with wanting to go? You know what? Can we adapt this maybe for the rights and do a murder mystery dinner theater?
We've actually got we have 3 games which are murder mystery theatre. So they are 45-page scripts. Each of them in over 3 acts, and it's just completely fully scripted, but it's designed. The aim was you can play it in your home, and you don't need to rehearse, and it tells you you don't need.
No, you don't need to, but it would help.
But,
Recommended.
A lot more people tend to use them for sort of fundraisers and putting on shows where they want a big audience. So yeah, we have done those, and people sometimes try to want to have a go at adapting the Flexi Party games as well for performance.
We get asked for all sorts of weirdness. Anything you can imagine, we're asked for it. So the live action ones definitely, where they ask if we can send actors in to perform it. There are companies that kind of specialise that. Group parties all the time. Can you cater for 200 players?
Wow.
Yeah. How many days have you got? I mean,
right.
Yeah,
that's a lot. No.
Yeah, and can they all be guilty? Maybe. Yeah. So
I mean, it's your show, I guess. I don't know. Like we used to do dinner theaters all the time, and so but I guess they always had like a character card that you could hand to the audience or whatever when they came in to have their dinner. They didn't have a script or anything like that. It was just like if I decided as the actor I wanted to go over and just pick on you for a minute. Now I had your name and people just voted on who they thought was the killer at the end. And then, so that's how it was random for the ones that we used to do. So maybe if,
so more
something you actually want to try, that's the best you could come up. Have your main characters, and then everybody else can just have a fun name. And if the actors want to pick on them, they can try to, improv their way out of it,
Right. we do have a couple of games called Simply Murder, and those ones are ad lib, so they're not scripted. So it just gives you like a character sheet. There's a director's, instructions.
Background information.
Nice. That sounds like an idea.
Yeah, see, I know. I'm writing all this down. Don't you worry.
There's only 2 themes, though. There's only garden party, because when we originally did it, we thought people who do barbecues, they're going to be just reading out of a book the whole time. Mm-hmm. So garden party is one of them, and the other one's Christmas. So other than that, it's a good time you have to do it now, but...
There you go.
Simply
I'll have to hurry up, get on the ball, right? Yeah.
Later on.
Now, Tim, I want to ask you about you said you were into film, or you wanted to be into film. Is that something you've always been excited to do? Like since you were a kid, you're just like, I want to be a filmmaker, I want to do that? Or was it something that just evolved over time?
I don't think it evolved. It just, one day it was there. So although I'd watched lots of films and, the Star Wars, all the classics when I was younger, I never really thought, and I think part of it is that how can you be a filmmaker? At that age, I'm like, that's an impossible dream, isn't it? Why would I want to do that? They've got no way of doing it. So I think I went to university, studied law, got a law degree, and thought I was going to become a lawyer.
I saw that.
I thought I was going to be. That I had a bit of a strange experience when I did some work experience for a firm in London, and I thought, maybe I don't want to be a lawyer anymore, because I thought that I was going to be helping people, and sorry, we're billing them. Sorry, my mistake. Yeah, mainly I'm just billing people. I get it. You know, there's the business end to this. You know, and you have Crown Prosecution Service. You can go in over here, but basically 95% of the cases are, you know, slam dunk. So you're not really doing anything. But anyway, so I actually fell out of that and did programming. And then when we had a family business with loads of programmers in doing boring non-gaming stuff like Oracle and all sorts of weird stuff, that was running really well. And we got to that point where we're like, oh, we can do 4-day weeks. I mean, the company went bust. Don't take my advice here. It went bust quickly after that. We said, let's do 4-day weeks. And it was like, what do you want to do? And I was like, oh, I want to make films, actually. We can make films. And the tech was arriving. You know, I've got a DVX 100, I think, a Panasonic kind of all-in-one. And I was kind of excited about that. So, sorry. Let's disappear. So it was from there. And I did a short film, and I had somebody come in from the BBC. It was a cameraman who was ex-BBC, and I thought, oh, this is good, isn't it? I did the casting call. Yeah, it was called Venture to Capitalist. It was about the devil was going to take over the world and he wanted venture capital. That was what it was about. So it's a little short comedy sketch.
Yeah.
Anyway, the guy from the BBC came in. Honestly, I couldn't believe how bad that it went after that point. He took about 4 hours to set up the lighting. He refused to do anything before he gave everyone a half-hour health and safety drill. And it was almost like it would put you off for life after.
Oh no! Yeah.
He brought in his rig, but it, you know, obviously didn't. And I get really excited about doing it. About you know, seeing. It's brilliant that people only care about what's on the screen. I think that's what I love about film. Nobody cares that, you know, I'm holding up a cat over here and there's a light coming in there and there's a mobile phone under here and you know, try and balance on that and look happy. Right, okay,
the greatest magic trick.
So yeah, it's just great bit, and I think in general it goes to that kind of creating worlds. Love creating worlds for people. You know, just different places that you can disappear into. It's awesome. So film is kind of doing that. I guess it depends what types of film you do. But definitely the FMV stuff that we're doing now is it's just awesome, and the connection that you get with the first person, you know, the direct to camera. I think it wins a lot of people over. A lot of people, you know, probably see some of those characters as their friends, those murderous, evil characters as their friends, as their friends. So it's really lovely to be able to do that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we both write the whole, you know, we take equal responsibility writing it. You let me direct it, don't you, basically?
You know, I'm direct it, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's very good of you. That's very good of you.
That's your responsibility.
Yeah. So I can, But I tend to not do that much, actually. I'm not one of those directors like, you must do this and do it and all that. I only change things or make adjustments if it doesn't look good or it makes them look bad or it doesn't look right. Especially for the FMV stuff, there's not enough time before we don't do loads of auditions, don't do loads of rehearsals or anything like that. We can't really afford that kind of budget. So we need to, you know, hope that the actors are happy with what they created. So we're just grateful by the time they arrive that people like Ashton or whatever, they've already come up with this whole persona. You don't want to go, no, she's nothing like that. You've got to do it like this. Just one day to shoot it. It needs to be, you know, it needs to be there. So tend to work with what everyone's already put in before they get there, but it's you should try it. Honestly, it's fun.
One day, honestly, one day I would love to be in one of those games for sure. Hey, I got a little closer thanks to you guys, so I got a little closer.
Yeah, that was brilliant as well. Everybody's voiceovers coming into the game. Again, you know, what we mainly do when we do game design is we think, what do we want the game to be about? And then what's the basic mechanic going to be? And then, okay, how do we stop it being boring? So the rest of the time is spent on these little kind of embellishments, really, to bring the place alive. The little jump scares that go in. You know, if you took all those things out, if you took the radio out and it was just you talking to a person and then you proceed an act, if nothing different happened, it would probably be a bit more dull. Is what we think, but...
Well, we try, if the player's getting to a point where they think they know how this game is going to play. And then we try and put something in to turn it on its head, or
to keep you awake, basically.
Keep you awake.
That's good. Right. No, that's good. Yeah.
I mean, if you
I know when I played that game, like I was second guessing myself left and right over everything. So I think, well done. I was just like, no, it's this. Nope, can't be. They're wanting me to think it's this, so I can't believe it's that.
How did you find the delete button?
Well, when it came up on the first one, I think I hit it twice.
Yeah.
And then on the third go round, I went, okay. And so I hit the garbage can and I went, all right. So it took me 2 goes because I was like, well, it's not going to do it to me again, right? Clearly, like that was just okay. So I thought it was a very clever tutorial. I really did.
Did you delete anything else after that?
I did on like my second playthrough. Like my first one, I just couldn't stop myself. I had to just keep hitting all of that. You know what I mean? I was like, I know I probably should keep my mouth shut here, but nope. I'm going to say it. I'm going to see what happens. So like on my second playthrough, I finally started going, all right, they're a little irritated here or something, or maybe I'll just come back as so-and-so instead of pushing it as Sam or whatever. And then definitely my second playthrough, I unlocked so much more by doing that and playing it more into the confines of like what I felt was how I was supposed to play it to get more revealed. So first time I was just like, nope, hitting all the buttons.
Did it make it more interesting?
It did. It actually really did.
Then just
because especially having the first playthrough already under my belt and seeing how much different it actually made it, that was where I think it really came to me together, because I was like, wow, that really did change it. And then coming back as so-and-so to talk to whoever it is, it was very cool to see how now their demeanor even changed, because we hadn't already pushed their buttons as Sam or kept doing that and just kind of let it in their mind organically have the conversation as they thought. I thought it was very well done that way. I did like it.
But you liked the Decker keyboard entry as well, didn't you? So
the what?
You liked the Decker keyboard entry as well. Because we got a lot of heat from the keyboard entry, obviously, in Decker. From some
I could see that if people are like wanting to do the full everything, they want green on all of it. So I could admit, even like after a while, I was like, I don't understand what to type anymore. And then like chat would be helping or whatever, because I streamed it the first time I played through it. And so when the hint feature came in, or well, you always had the hint feature, but there was like a cooldown. I can't remember what level I had set it on or whatever my first playthrough. So I just kept trying stuff, and then I was like, well, I'll just spam hint, because I'm that type that I want all of the green the first go. I want to see all the different stuff. So I could see that, but again, I'm like I said, I'm more forgiving about that stuff. I was having a good time, and I thought it was more clever doing it that way. Because I felt like I was more playing the game, because like now I'm the one doing the interviewing. I could role play as being actually the psychiatrist, so I liked that feature. I personally really loved it. Yeah, I did.
I think if we were to release, if we did it again, there would be no green, or amber would be green, because the green was always meant to be Easter eggs, because we'd finished off all the dialogue and we said, okay, what crazy things are people going to want to know now? And let's put for that.
Well, I told you, I still felt like Aslan should have had a cheeky response for however many times she had been hit on in the game.
In Act 1, if you use certain rude words, she does have a response,
Oh, I never found... go back now.
Now you gotta go back.
I do.
It could have triggered off of anything, because there was a lot of keywords, but... Sorry, all we've done is we've been questioning you, haven't we? And Stephen, have you ever played
yes, I've... Yeah, I played The Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker. I played it through, I think, the time that I actually sat down with it, because I like to really immerse myself, and that seemed like a game that I needed to focus on. So I actually spent a day, not all day, but I spent like a Saturday and said, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to play this. It probably took me a few hours, but I played it from beginning to end. And I actually figured out who the killer was. I was surprised. I was just like, oh, okay. Because I started questioning myself at the end, the way everything was going through. And I was like, it's got to be that one. It has to be that one. I know it is. And I lucked out. But I did think someone died on my watch. There was I can't remember the character's name, but he was one of those one-off characters that would show up in the office.
The professor?
Yeah, and I think he was talking about killing himself, or should he shoot himself and stuff like that. And I was like, this guy's kind of a loose screw here.
And then you hear the gunshot. Yeah.
Could I have stopped that? Because I just told him, I was just like, do whatever you got to do. And he was like, boom. And I was like, oh, okay.
I'm on a limited schedule today, guy. Do what you need to do, all right? I got to get this game done.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to try the shape-shifting detective. I've yet to play that, so.
I think you'll love it. I really do.
I think so, yeah.
We tried to keep it interesting anyway with the delete.
Yeah, it looks fun just from what I've seen her play. So I'm intrigued. I'm like her. I like the FMV games. There's something different and unique. They're not like every other game that you play, so it's always something different and fresh for me. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a breath of fresh air for sure.
Yeah.
Have you played Late Shift, either of you?
I
did,
have.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
You played Late Shift.
It's amazing. Yeah. I think they really did a great, definitely more of like a movie kind of create your own thing. But I thought it was fantastic. I even tell people, if you're not a gamer and you just want a really fun, fast-paced story, pick that one up. I really dug it. I thought the acting was very well done. The writing was very well done. Nice, quick pace. I mean, it's only, like an hour and a half to get from start to end, maybe 2 hours to do one full playthrough, maybe. Yeah, but with the different endings and stuff, I was like, it was great.
I think it did very well because of that reason, because non-gamers or people who aren't, you know, really into a lot of mechanics, it's very easy to play and very easy to get into, and then you can watch it again and can make different choices. And
I think there was 7 different endings to that one.
Yeah, so yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think there's still one I've yet to find, and I can't figure out which scene that I need to make the choice different, or it's one scene I haven't unlocked or something like that. Like I'm at 13 of 14 scenes or something, and so I'm trying not to cheat. I'm trying not to look it up, but I'm like, I'm so close because it's just that one that, like, which scene am I making the choice? Yeah. You know, yeah, like I just can't put that piece together. But
so for our next FMV game,
oh yes,
what do you vote for? Do you want it to be more Late Shift? Or do you want it to be more Shapeshift, or do you want it to be more Deca?
Oh man, see that's a tough one.
Or
other.
What do you think's best? Because that's not a cheeky way of saying that. Well, they all work in different ways.
I was going to say with Decker, I really liked the uniqueness of the typing in the answers, because like her story kind of did that, but it was more of we're doing it as a searching feature, not as a talking to the actors feature. Yeah. But again, you said wasn't as receptive, but I really dug the uniqueness of it from like a role-playing standpoint. Like it immersed me more because I felt like I was the one actually in control of what was being said. I don't know, because they're all so much fun in how they do it.
Now, but it will be your fault if we do what you say.
I know, like I don't want all the hate mail at me. Lacia, what did you do? Why did you tell them that? If there was a unique way to do that, like every once in a while, like a QTE even, where it's like how Late Shift has that, you've got to decide right now and hit that button if you're not paying attention. That could be interspersed within there. Yeah, I did. I really loved the interaction with Dr. Decker. I like how Shapeshift played out, but I felt like from an immersion standpoint, I really liked being able to think more about doing it and being in control more of.
Stage where we have a lot of different.
We've got some mechanics that are definitely going to go in,
floating around in the pot.
Yeah.
Wales would prefer us to do something more Late Shift, which is really probably where Shapeshift came from, because
it's got half of the words.
Because it's got the words. We took half the name. No, it's basically because we are gamers. I've played video games for years and years and years. Chucky Egg upwards. I mean, we had the ZX81 when it first came out. So I do like games, and the interactive movie, like Late Shift didn't even want to call themselves an FMV to begin with, did they?
Right.
And I'm not sure that they still do, that they want to be an interactive movie. And it didn't feel substantial enough for us to just put you on rails for Shapeshift.
Right.
Not let you make any decisions. So we have rails to begin with in Shapeshift, rails to end with, and then in the middle, you've got this big middle bit, haven't you, where you can change into people and you get to decide who to go and see. And then we added the delete mechanic, and then we're like, okay, ship it. That's fine. We'll live with that. But we don't care about sales, because they're obviously nice to have, but really we do it because we enjoy making FMV games and we want people to be happy and enjoy playing them, so that we can keep doing it. Our biggest fear really was that this game was going to come out. It came out straight after The Quiet Man. and we just seen the Quiet Man basically get mauled by the lions, and then like they shuffled us into the arena. And we're like, hello. Please don't kill us.
Hi. Remember we did Decker though. Remember that?
Yeah, we thought that was it. We thought maybe that was it. FMV meant death. So we're so happy to have kept the bounce going so that people still consider playing FMV games. And
Shapeshift really had a better reception than we could have hoped for in our wildest streams when we were making it, because I actually thought, well, you swing from one to the extreme to the other when you're working on something, but I did think that it wouldn't do as well as Decker did, because Decker obviously had a lot more weirdness, the Lovecraftian stuff in it. It was a bit more psychological horror.
Because we hate everything before we ship it.
Yeah.
Oh, everyone's going to hate it.
I think every creative does that to their own work at some point before they release it into the wild,
Go to the other extreme, and you're like, yeah, but Shapeshift, it's got all this fun stuff to find. It's easy to play.
Mm-hmm.
You can replay it a lot and discover new things, and there's like the delete mechanic, and it's got, Rupert Booth in it, and Ashlyn, and Anna Rosa, so...
they're all fantastic. Yes.
I need to say as well that I'm not saying that we're responsible for keeping FMV alive. All I'm saying is I don't feel like I have to be responsible for killing it. So,
right. Well, FMV's had a big roller coaster over the last 30 years, has it not? It's definitely, I think it's a genre in its own, even though that genre could have many genres. It's a weird thing, right? Because there's FMV as a genre, but it could be a comedy, it could be a murder mystery, it could be a interactive movie, it could be, it should have its genre and then I guess its own branching ones too.
Well, it's the presentation, isn't it? FMV is just the the form of presentation, like pixel art
right. But we tend to clump them together and judge them all in the same vein,
FMV now is a lot of FMV games. There is a lot of FMV, like Contradiction.
There is now.
Yeah, and Late Shift. It's not. It's moved
Full
on
screen.
from Phantasmagoria and Text.
Right, which was a great one.
I love Phantasmagoria. It's one of my favorite ones. When I sadly played it back in the 90s when it came out.
Oh, me and you too. 7-disc changer, baby. Yeah, I still got it. Actually, I think Journeyman Project was the first one I remember ever playing. Yeah. And then Phantasmagoria is the first one that's burned into my brain as I played it from start to end. Like, I sat there with two of my girlfriends and we sat around the PC and we played this from start to end together. And I was probably too young to be playing it at the time, but old enough to understand what was going on. But I did enjoy it. Then I played the second one, and then I feel like I sought out FMVs ever since then.
Yeah, Phantasmagoria too. The video was a little bit bigger. Interlaced, but it was a little bit bigger, wasn't it? And
I think they actually, it was filmed on sets and stuff too. Whereas like with Phantasmagoria, it was like they were superimposed into the world or however they would have done it in the 90s. And that's what I remember. It's like, now this is actually like watching a movie.
Yeah.
This one, because like they're actually on sets. It's being filmed in real time, if I'm remembering it correctly. I know I didn't play that one as much as the first one, but I know I played it a few times.
But I'd love to do Phantasmagoria 3. But I mean, it couldn't be the same, could it? Because
I still think we need to get you to do Contradiction 2. I need to know two things, like obviously the rest of the story, and two, does John ever finish his drink?
Contradiction, that's interesting as well. So you still haven't answered the question about which game we're doing next. So you've got to do that.
Oh, that's true.
I'll throw into that as well, Contradiction, because Contradiction, in terms of the amount of work we'd need to do writing it, would be like easier than normal because it doesn't branch. So Contradiction has the topic based system,
sure,
which is actually where we started with Shapeshift.
Yeah,
we actually when we started, it had about 4 different rewrites. It looks totally different the way it shipped to when it started, but we started with a topic based system then, and because you don't have to cope with branching, we could. I'm not saying we could knock it out quickly. I'm not saying we could do that. But it's it would. We haven't ever really attempted doing something like that. But again, we play Contradiction. Love playing Contradiction. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if it is the topic based thing which is exciting, or whether really it was more to do with like Tim Follin's music, When you play Contradiction, you have a look at the user interface and stuff. Little shrills go off when you get a new clue. Yeah, there's a lot of work gone in there. You might not really be seeing it when thinking about it, but having developed these other FMVs, you definitely see it's more of this whole experience. If it was just a kind of topic based system, maybe it wouldn't be as exciting. But the way he pulled it all together,
that's true.
Maybe.
I do enjoy your branching stuff, though, I will have to say. Because, it's just, I don't know, because depending, those games aren't going to take you, 3 or 4 weeks or months or whatever to play. So the replayability is what's really attractive. And the fact that I'm on even my 4th playthrough and still not unlocked everything is just what's really intriguing to me. Although I could imagine that's got to be a ton of work to put together.
We talked about, can I say this?
What?
Oh yeah, don't get yourselves in trouble. Although I want to know.
No. It's mechanics like the 3D stuff that we were talking about last night.
Oh right, yeah.
No, we're just talking about because we're not a big studio or anything. We're indies. We can do whatever we want, basically. Even if it's rubbish, we can just do anything. So so nothing's off the table, basically. We don't have to do what everybody else does or anything like that. And what I was saying last night, I mean, we'd have a few drinks, obviously, but I was saying last night that.
All the best ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
All the best at it. Branching games, they're normally, you see them linear, don't you? There's in 2D. So you'd write branching out on paper, wouldn't you? So it'd be, do I go left or right? And it's like a diagram, just a tree, a decision tree. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. Decision tree.
The technical term.
So I was posing the idea of last night of a 3D decision tree, right?
Ooh, okay.
So, and I'll tell you, I'll give you the example I gave as well, and then I hope somebody else goes and makes this because it sounds really hard. So you've got your normal kind of decision tree, and when you play games like Late Shift and even I guess Shapeshift, you see the same video over and over again. Yeah. What would be called choke points. Yeah. Okay. Choke points are points that everybody's going to go to. So it's a way of designing branching narrative. So you all have, you all get to say, you do lots of different things in the middle, but by the end, you're all going to talk to the chief at the end. Yes. Right. You get what they call these choke points. So you move through the same thing over and over again in different playthroughs. Yeah. I'm not talking about one playthrough. I'm a bit of a one playthrough guy because I don't have enough life left now. So I appreciate all the decision stuff that goes into it. But by the end, that's my story, and I hope it was the best one that the author wanted.
Just hope I had fun, right?
Yeah, exactly. So with 3D branching, the idea is the same place that you're going to see again is that we change it a little bit when you go, and it is a layered story. Okay, so this is a really weird example. I'm not saying this is the best example, but I said, so you go to this place, there's a man, he's walking a dog, yeah, and you've got a little bit of video with him. I'm walking the dog, there's a dead body, the dog sniffed out a dead body down by the lake, but I've got to go for my whatever. So that's the first playthrough, that's what you see, yeah? Mm-hmm. You play the game again, you're totally expecting to see the guy with the dog, you see the dead body, because that leads you into the next scene. You can see that the dog's not there. The dog's gone missing. Oh, in the next playthrough, I'm looking for my dog. It probably still deliver the message we need. So probably say something like, "There's a, he smelled a dead body down by the river and he's gone. I don't know where he is."
Right? Oh, see, yeah, that would be interesting.
Right, and it layers it a little bit. So like, there's the man. He's walking his dog. He's lost his dog. And then the third playthrough, you go and it's just the man. He's like, oh. You might want to check down by the river. There's a dead body. I just walked down here. My dog died a couple of weeks ago, and it just reminds me. It makes me feel good coming back and the memories. So you get these like layered choke points instead of. We were just floating it last night.
I was gonna say that sounds like it would be totally doable.
And for sure. Have repercussions in how the other choke points played out, or the
every time, so it's like a sandwich now in terms of the layer that you'll get when you get to that particular decision point, and you could get one of X sandwiches that X layers that we film for it. But I'm not sure that it would add a massive amount. But it was just interesting the amount of people that replayed Shapeshift.
Yeah.
there's been, I mean, it does kind of.
You got those people that they want 100% stuff. You know, if they see achievements still on there,
but also
gonna keep going.
A number of people who replayed Shapeshift who then said, "Give us a skip facility. Give us a skip button."
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Because it's like during those points that you said are the exact same. Like
the layered idea is like, well, you're not going to want to skip this because it's different. You haven't seen it before.
And it actually builds a story each time and gives the character more background or whatever. So we've designed it on the basis people are going to replay it.
Yeah.
So
that would be really cool.
It's that's an idea anyway. So Eddie, which one?
Great idea. It sounds like.
Which one, Lacey? Which one is it? Which one are we doing?
Which one is it? I like it all. I like it all. No.
You can't choose the system you want to see next.
All of them.
Right.
One FMV.
We think that we're probably going to stick mainly with Shapeshift and go a bit, and then head again towards Decker a little bit. So it's going to be we've reeled people in with Shapeshift. Now we might just turn it up a little notch, make it a slightly more complicated, just a little.
Right.
You know, I'm not talking keyboard entry complicated like Decker.
Right.
People want something they can get their teeth into and have a challenge or a puzzle in there. You know, something to solve.
But we're in development, so it might just be late shift. Who knows?
Well, you know, I'll be checking it out regardless because I think you guys do great work. I've enjoyed them both thoroughly.
Yeah, no, well, we've enjoyed watching you play them.
Yeah.
I had to say, I don't know if you knew, they were the ones who like saved me on Decker because for the longest time I didn't see there was like little wording up there about going back and forth between the stuff that had already been said. And I was getting really upset one day because I'm like, well, I don't understand why this feature just isn't there. And then they did a tweet. Did you know that in the upper left-hand corner? And I was like, I've been looking for that. And he's like, I might have been seeing you get mad about it. And I went, oh, thank you. And then it was smoother sailing from there on out.
And the hint timer. Yeah, I mean, it's for 90 seconds, but you could turn it down to 30 seconds, I think, which considering you've got to type something and then get them say, oh, I don't know, it's you burned 20 seconds.
Right. And now it just dropped down. Done.
Yeah.
If you want to go through it.
And again, I saw you talk. I mean, we listened to your podcast where you were talking about Decker, and I think we probably, we share those same kind of feelings that you have. You know, as in, I guess is it director's cut with the keyboard?
Yeah.
Right.
As in maybe, I don't, you know, and you can use keyboard on console, so it's not like it isn't an option. But then again, there is also that kind of I really can't be bothered version of play. So I like playing on the console. Sometimes I'm just going to hit the D-pad and choose the answer because, you know, we're here for the videos at the end of the day. And when you talk about game design in general, a lot of it is just delaying you before you get to see the video.
That's true.
We've got we talk about FMV match 3, which is, you know, match 3 game because a mechanic, a known mechanic, and you have to win all these match 3 games and then you get a video. It's like the reward at the end of doing the piece. So we don't want anything like that. We don't want anything that's so easy to see that we're just trying to stop you from seeing the videos. But you don't get that, do you, in Shapeshift? We don't stop you at all. You just we did get some. If you put together all of the negative reviews, the bit that each one complains about, then the whole game's rubbish. If you put them all together, so we're not entirely sure which bits to improve. But some people were saying that it would be good if the rooms were grayed out, like the people you could visit, if they were grayed out, if they had nothing to say. And it's one of the things that we did when we were developing the game. We thought, should we though?
Should we do that? Yeah, it was. We did consider it, but in a way, then you're just holding someone's hand and you're saying, well, you can go to see this person, you can't go to see that person.
Right.
And we understand that it can be annoying if you're trying to find something. You want to get the next piece of information, you want to get your next video, and you're trying to find it, but we compare it to the adventure game
Inventory.
You've got to unlock this door or solve this puzzle, and you have 10 items in your inventory and
nobody grays the item out, do they? Nobody
I
says, don't try the banana on the lock. I mean, that's up to you.
That never really, I guess, like, I could remember going back and forth just to see, but it wasn't an annoyance to me because, like, to me, I'm still playing the game.
Yeah, you're saying,
you know, like this, I'm
right,
discovering the game how it was made to be. So did I spam it and go back and forth? Yeah. Was I pissed off if they didn't have anything to say? No, because it really was like an extra 3 seconds of my time to back out and go to a different person. I guess is how I was looking at it. You know.
Yeah. No, you were trying all the inventory items on the lock to see if it would open.
Yeah.
But in our case, that is changing into somebody else and going and visit them, isn't it? So
yeah.
It was one of the few bits of adventuring you got to do in game.
Right.
Essentially.
I don't know. Come on, people. Play the game. Yeah. Just play the game.
Yes, play the game.
Just play it. Don't get mad.
Alicia, you got any more questions for him?
No, I think that we're probably pretty good because I know we've kept you guys for quite a while now as well.
That's just me. Don't let me speak ever again. Ever.
Oh, no, as long as you were okay. It's like I could go on forever.
Just do the intro bit and that's it. Yeah, and that's, yeah.
And then just done with all that. No. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. And I think you will too, for sure.
It's been fun.
You guys have been a delight. And we definitely
I know I could sit here and talk to him all day. I really could.
Oh, yeah.
It intrigues me to hear this end of it.
We just can't record it because people don't know it's too long. Switch it off.
There we go. We'll make the date later on. We'll have to make it to London or somewhere very close. Just all have coffee.
The murder mystery dinner is what you mean.
That's right.
There we go. Yes.
There we go. We've got a date.
Don't worry. I've been pressuring my one streamer friend Mammoth that I'm just going to show up one day and crash on his floor, you know. So he's like, okay, you know, I'm like, just you wait.
Have you been
and then Anna Rosa said I could stay in Spain. I've got my whole thing planned.
Have you been to England?
I have not. I want to. The furthest I've made it out of the States is like the Bahamas, and I really badly want to go. It's always the airfare from here to there is what's the killer, and everything else I think I could figure out rather easily, you know. Yeah. But yeah, it's just that $1,500 price tag sometimes where you're just like, I got to get that together real fast. And
just so you know, it's exactly like it looks in Forza Horizon 4.
There we go. So I guess I could just spend $60 and do that and then call it a day. But no, one day I do, for sure.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And sorry, just check out Tim Follin's website, because he's working on a game called 3 AM. The guy who made Contradiction. Yeah.
Oh, is he? Oh, okay.
Yeah, just put that out there.
Which is out soon, apparently.
Ooh, I'll have to check it out. PC, I hope. I can put it on a Steam wish list or something. Let me know when that's coming out. Because I did enjoy that one.
Yeah, it's a horror. It's more of a horror than the next one, I think. But,
Ooh. Oh, I'm sold. You know, I'll always just try. I throw my money at FMVs and we'll see what sticks, you know. It has to be pretty bad for me to not finish it.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm looking at you, BMC Studios. Love you, but they're great kids. They're great kids.
Don't you just, Lacey, you want an FMV with just Oscar in, don't you?
He's so adorable. Oh my God, you guys, I did not expect to fall in love with him so hard. I really didn't. It's something about just the way he played that character and how innocent he was about the whole thing. And then, of course, when I finally unlocked the whole like date thing, I was just like, oh my God. This whole scene, I just fell in love with him so hard. I really did. Definitely young for me, so it'll be from afar. But you know, I did. I really he did that part really well, and he's adorable to boot. So it made it really great. He was fun.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Our games are like a box of chocolates.
Right? Well, I think that whole date scene, I don't know, I just like the whole blood rush to my face because like the verbiage used where you're like, wow, it's getting hot in here, you know? And the whole thing happened. I'm like, oh my God, this is so adorable. And the way he just ran out, I'm like, oh my God, I love this. That was just like the best little thing right there.
Spoilers, Steve, sorry.
Yeah, well, depending on your playthrough. I'll let you know how.
Okay. All right.
I think I figured out how to hit on all of them so far. So.
Should be an achievement. Yeah.
It really should. All right. Sorry, Steven.
No, it's fine. We'll keep it going. But that is our show. I'd like to thank to all of our listeners. We appreciate you coming back every week. And if you want to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/pencilandpaperproductions or pencilandpaperproductions.podbean.com and click Become a Patron at the top right-hand corner. You can follow us on Twitter at SuperMegaCrash. You can email us at supermegacrash@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram and see all those wonderful little icons I design every week. Tell your friends about us. You can find us on the Pencil and Paper Podcast Network, found on Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, wherever you find your podcasts. Be sure to check us out on the streams on Twitch on Sundays at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you so much for listening. I am Stephen White.
I'm Lacey Finley.
Tim and Lynda, tell everyone where they can find you on the interwebs.
You can find us on Twitter at the Vecchi or Shapeshift FMV.
Yeah. Or at Dr. Decker.
Or at Dr. Decker.
There you go. And links will be in the descriptions down below. Join us again next time, Super Mega Crash crew. But until then, game on.
A Pencil and Paper Podcast Network production.